Good evening. Good evening. Today, today or tonight, I'm going to share from Genesis chapter 47. And I'm going to focus on verses 8 and 9. And I'll be honest, I'm not trying to, have a pity party or complain or anything like that. But what Jacob answers to Pharaoh here, I understand so far, at least. And I think this is a blessing from God, and I'll explain that later. But and Pharaoh said unto Jacob, How old are you? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, The days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and I have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. And he's basically saying, telling Pharaoh, yeah, I'm 130 years old. Few and evil have has my life been compared to my fathers, who had lived longer. But I just think it's really interesting that he answers Pharaoh and says, Few and evil have my years been. You know? Like if someone was to ask you about your life and ask you how old you are, would your response be to make sure that you let them know that I've only lived, 130 or 40 years or however long you've lived, but you want to make sure that person understands that every year of your life so far has been few and evil. You know what I mean? And I think about Jacob, and he went through a lot, right? He had the situation with Esau, and then so he's running from Esau, and then his father favored Esau, and then he's running from Esau, and then Laban, he meets him, and then he gets the wife swap, he ends up marrying her sister. That's not who he wanted, so then he has to serve another 7 years for Rachel, and then he ends up serving Laban for 20 years for his flocks, and Laban tricks him and takes, it's a story, right? And then he finally gets away from him, and then Rachel dies when she has Benjamin, and then Joseph, he gets sold into slavery by his brothers, and his father is under the assumption that his only son that he loved is dead for, I don't know, almost 20 years, so and then when he finally, this is what he's telling Pharaoh after he finally gets to see Joseph again, right? So I just think that maybe we should look at this, and it's like this, like he says, my pilgrimage, you know, is 130 years. Like, we need to think about our lives here in that same way. This is our pilgrimage. This world is not our home. And, and the reason why this came to my attention, because somebody asked me earlier, my parents are selling their house. She was like, do you have any good memories here? And I honestly, just off the bat, I couldn't think of any. You know what I'm saying? I don't have very many good memories, right? I've had, it hasn't been that great, my life so far. And I have good things going for me now, but even then, there's still affliction with everything, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not, my life's not smooth. It's difficult. Things don't go my way. Everything that I do, I experience difficulty, and things don't go according to plan, and I'm always aggravated and frustrated. But I have to just keep redirecting myself to the Lord, and having joy in Him, and I'm and I don't all and I'm not good at that always. Sometimes I just want to complain and get angry. But at the end of the day, I think the Lord He doesn't want us to have such great memories of this place, because this isn't our home. You know, the only thing he wants us to remember is the hope that he's given us of eternal life with him, and the fact that this is our pilgrimage, and our real hope is in eternal life through Jesus Christ and living forever in a place not like this, you know, beyond what we can even imagine is what's destined for us, and joy unthinkable. And this affliction is just for a moment, even if we experience 130 years of evil like Jacob did. And we will experience even less time than him. So let's get things in perspective, and just rejoice in what's coming, and not focus on what the evil that we've had to experience here.